I got a question for you. Were you born and raised in the U.S., United States of America? Were you born and raised in the U.S.? If you answer yes to this question, I know your mother's name. I know your mother's name. It's right there in the phrasing of it. If you were born and raised in America, I know your mother's name. Your mother's native maiden name. It's the land that you're born and raised on, America. But we know that America's real deified identity is a light bearer. So she's really Venusian. But as another way to look at this motherland concept and giving more credence to the idea of indigenous people, you can see a female's name in the name America. You can see a female's name in the name America. And for those who are discerning it right now in the moment, you're saying, yeah, I could see a man's name in the name America too. Yep, you see it? Eric and Erica. I could have just as easily said, if you were born and raised in America, I know your father's name, and it would have been Eric. But who is Eric? On a historical note, he's a Viking. Eric the what? Eric the Red. What is red? Passion, all heart, Valentine's Day, heart on your sleeve, emotionally charged. Red, root chakra, intensity, passion. And in times of war, that's bloodshed. That's the stimulation of the animus, the awakening of the dragon's nest, because it's said that the Kundalini dragon is supposed to come from the root chakra. And we're not being facetious to exclude any references to the dark practices of awakening the root chakra. We're not talking any osculum infame talk around here. Not at all. We know what the root chakra represents. Survival. So what are we saying? We're saying your dragon is coming from your need to survive. Whatever your take on your ability to survive is, will determine the quality of your dragon. Eric the Red, a Viking, right? And Viking is usually correlated with barbarism, right? It's usually linked up to that, barbarism, being very warlike, being very brutal. Because life can be very warlike and be very brutal. And you can be a Viking, a warrior that's trained to fight what? Not in a hot climate. You don't have pictures of Vikings fighting in the desert or fighting on the beach. You usually have Vikings fighting in mountainous ranges, in the cold, because we're living in a cold world. And this is calling for some Vikings, for some sure enough Eric the Reds. See that? Eric the Red. And you also got that color in the American flag itself. You have red. So you got red on red. America, one of the stripes being red. So this root chakra and this desire to survive, and the whole Viking striking it off on your own. It's cold out there. It's cold out there. Don't break off. This was America and Britain's mythos. That was it in a nutshell. Revolution and separation. You can see tinges of reconciliation though happening across the newer generations of people though that's coming on the scene. I'm seeing a lot of British action in my comments. London, UK, England, getting a lot of love from the motherland, as they say. Speaking from an American standpoint, from a born and raised in the U.S. vantage point, I'm saying my motherland from that perspective is England. And where am I? I'm getting a lot of love from England. And this has a very revolving quality to it. Because you read in the news and in the feeds and you hear the stories about what's going on over there, right? And so some of us, truth be told, small channel or not, we're actually being looked at as heroes for having these radical perspectives that weren't so appreciated 10, 15, 20 years ago. But now it seems like the time is ripe. The time is ripe to be unique and express yourself. Because you know your mother's name if you was born and raised here. And any other kind of relationship you have to America, then that's your relationship to either Eric or Erica. Erica is the female form of Eric. So the Viking, surviving in the cold, foraging, being the warrior, it can be either male or female. Because both are in the name America. It's also part of a mantra, America is. Yep, it's part of a mantra. And when we're claiming the mantra, we have to be accurate with the spelling of the country. So when we put I in front of America, we're giving a statement. You're saying I am Erica. Put I in front of America, and this is what you get. You get I am Erica. You see the spelling? I-A-M-E-R-I-C-A. I am Erica. You can't see in this way. You can't say I am Eric because you're leaving the A off America. You would just be like, I am Eric. But I, America, says I am Erica. So you're claiming the feminine form. You're claiming the female light-bearing form. This is why you have the Statue of Liberty where you have it at. And which is why it is an image of a freed slave. A freed light-bearer. Freed from the chains of higher forms of God-struck and Elohim constraints. Because not even the heavens are perfect. The heavens aren't even perfect. There's rules and regulations and remixing going on in the higher realms too. Higher realms, lower realms, middle realms. Everything is in flux. So when you're claiming your identity on a soul level, you're gonna do it pretty much in a matriarchal way. This is why objectivity is usually linked up with femininity. When a person gets a car, what do they say? Oh, look at her. When they get a new house, look at her. Look at her. She looks good. It'll be a straight up object. We don't know if this doggone love seat you bought is a male or a female. What are you basing that on? The color? We don't know. These, you know what I mean? The furniture doesn't have a gender. But I mean, you're saying what you're saying. You're saying, look at her, which is telling you the idea of possessiveness is decidedly feminine. To be possessed. This is something that a lot of women want. They want to be possessed. They want to be loved. They want somebody to say, she's mine. And so on a national level, you have this in the statement, I am Erica. That you can't say America without mentioning Erica. You gotta claim Erica in order to say I, America. Everything's in flux, but we're dealing with evolution and revolution at the same time. Everything is in flux in different forms. There's simulations. Some are collapsing, others are expanding. Some are coming together and becoming hybrid simulations, combinations of the old world linked up with the new world. And it's just a gumbo of different outcomes. And what do you know about outcomes? The outcome is usually going to point to the income. Isn't it funny how we do that as a people? The outcome is all about the income. It's like, yeah, we know what you're saying, but how much did you make from it? The outcome is usually the income. Is that at the end of the day, we don't care how many people can. For us, the outcome is the income. But you do understand that those are two different things, right? How you embrace the outcome will determine your income. How you embrace the outcome will determine your income, America. Erica, Eric the Red, female form of the Viking, female warrior spirit, who's dressed for the cold. Yes. So you have to have this care for the time that you're in and the possession of being able to possess. That's the spirit right there, just being able to receive something. Because that takes a certain amount of humility and a certain setting aside of the ego to just be humble enough to receive something. This is decidedly feminine. So you have this I want to be loved. I want to possess. The man is about acquiring. He just wants somebody to tell him that something belongs to him. But the woman wants to be told that she belongs to someone else, that she belongs to someone. The man wants to be told that someone belongs to him. The woman wants to be told that she belongs to somebody. So when you put the desire to belong to somebody and the desire to want somebody to belong to you together, you get what is called a country, a body of people. You get a residence. You get a place to reside. This is why conditions are not always so livable. Because you have the male and the female fighting on a spiritually gender out level. You got the man saying it's all about masculine energy and he wants to push out all of the divine feminine. And with this, he's pushing out the females. And then on the other hand, you got women say, oh, wait, this is toxic masculinity. Those particular women might be screaming. So they want to push out masculinity. But wait, you need that. You need that. We all came here with a cross. You have no choice in whether or not you bear your cross. It's right there in your DNA. We all have an X chromosome. We don't all have a Y, but we all have an X. At least one. At least one. What is the X? An X is a cross when it's being carried. You understand? That's what an X is. An X is a cross being carried. So just the idea that you exist is going to come with some sacrifice. Just the idea. Yep. Well, welcome to life. Welcome to life. Yep. Just for existing is going to come with some burdens. Yep. Welcome to the real world. Welcome to life. But on the other side of that, you resurrected something else. So you might be bearing the burden of being the only one in your family to get a degree. You might be bearing the burden of being the one who's considered the rock in your family, the one that everyone in the family can confide to, the one who's keeping the whole family together. That might be your cross. That might be your X chromosome to carry. America. This is how you make people over. You make people over by becoming new people. You become new people long enough, somebody's going to emulate that persona. And then you get the chain reaction from there. We need to have a viral effect, a positive viral effect. It's time for a positive virus. It's time for a positive virus. I'm talking about a spiritual virus that just heals. You see, virus, that ain't a bad word. That just means to be widespread. I bet you if the stimulus was viral, you wouldn't be calling it a virus in a negative tone. I don't want that money virus. You don't want the money virus? You don't want to keep catching money? It's contagious, catching money all the time. You're just catching money, you're catching wealth. You don't want the money virus? I do. I want the money virus. Hands be itching and stuff. You having, you know what I mean? You doggone there breaking out when the money's on its way to you. Start itching, your palms start itching. You start getting giddy, you start getting silly. You know, you're getting affected like a virus. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's it in a nutshell. And this really applies to anybody from any land. Be proud of where you're from and look into your own national history, or your geographical history, I should say, because you as a people might actually be different than the land you're actually living in. You understand that could be a difference between the land you're living in and your culture. So I want to respect that when I say this. But to receive, to become, that is quintessentially feminine. To acquire and to possess that, though, is quintessentially masculine. So again, this is Super T Sigma of Sigma Programming. I thank you for your time and attention. And you already know over here, reaching is teaching. Continue to keep your balance. Continue to know yourself for yourself. And in the meantime, continue to vibrate high. Either have peace or be in pieces.